I am Emily Vikre from Vikre Distillery up in Duluth, Minnesota, and I am here today with my friend Erik Eastman of Easy and Oski Bitters, and I am super excited because today we are going to talk about Negronis. And the Negroni is a classic cocktail with gin, Campari, and vermouth, and it happens to be my favorite cocktail, and Erik happens to be a Negroni genius. So I'm going to pick his brain because I feel like it's already my favorite and then he can make it even better. And what the Negroni traditionally is, we have a traditional one here. It's a beautiful cocktail, traditionally equal parts gin, Campari, and vermouth, so 1:1:1 ratio. It's a potent cocktail, it has a lot of that Campari bitterness, so it's not necessarily for everyone.
Yep.
But you do a lot of different things to play with it.
Yeah, well, one of the, absolutely, like the 1:1:1, some people do find that to be a little intense, a little bitter. But then I just, this gin is so beautiful in this cocktail and it plays so well with the other ingredients that, so I've really just enjoyed emphasizing that component and then backing off slightly.
Always up the gin.
Yeah, more gin.
More gin.
Exactly.
It's the solution to the world's problems.
Yep.
We just figured it out.
And then just kind of keeping the Campari and the vermouth where they traditionally are, and a little orange, and it just works really beautifully. Should we make one?
Yeah, let's make one. I want to taste that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I'm also going to make a bumper sticker that says, just add more gin.
Just add more gin. So we're going to go with 2 ounces. Oops, no, this terribly sloppy.
This is how I make cocktails. I'm so glad to see somebody else that does a little bit of spilling.
2 ounces of beautiful cedar gin. We're going to go with 3/4 ounce of Campari. And 1 ounce of our favorite vermouth.
Favorite vermouth.
Coffee-infused.
I like that we share a favorite vermouth.
We share a lot of favorites.
We do share a lot of favorites.
Yeah, a lot of things like that. There you are.
One more.
Yep.
So far, so good?
Cedar is so happy.
Ah, thank you. It's my favorite description that I've heard of the cedar gin so far is it's like a peaceful Sasquatch watching you from behind a tree.
Give it a good stir. Maybe a little more than you think, right?
Yeah, I always count to myself when I'm stirring to make sure that I stir it for long enough and don't get where it has to be adequately diluted to bring. I feel like you have to dilute a cocktail enough to bring all those flavors to life.
Absolutely. You give everything a chance. Give everyone a chance to get to know each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Rub elbows a little bit. Is that what you do? Rub shoulders?
Rub shoulders. Yeah, look at all the shoulders. Look at the shoulders.
Look at the shoulders. Rubbing.
Everybody's doing it.
It's like a cocktail party for a cocktail. Deep thoughts with Emily.
Deep thoughts. That's super nice. So we'll one of my favorite parts about the cocktail process is putting it into a really pretty glass. And so we're going to use this guy right there.
The color is just, I don't know, maybe that's one of the first selling points for Negroni. It's
Totally
just
agree.
amazing. I don't know how you would describe it. It's like should be a wall color.
Who doesn't want to drink
Or
that?
a jewel. Everybody wants to drink that. Great.
And then we'll express a little orange oils onto that. And,
A really thin slice of just the top of the orange peel.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we take this and throw it over there.
What happened? Oh, I guess that is.
Beautiful Vikre
Wonderful.
cedar Negroni.
Yeah.
Could you make sure that we...
I'm gonna make sure
do
it
that
turned out
correctly?
okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure nothing is off. I wanna.
How do we do?
It's so good. And it's so sophisticated, but it's approachable.
Approachable.
But
The
sophisticated.
bitterness is a little bit chillaxed.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a little bit toned
It is.
down.
It doesn't like hit you quite so hard, but it's still very, very sophisticated.
It should be that. So, like, and in a Negroni, what is the one thing in a Negroni that it's got to be there in order for it to be a Negroni? I think it's the Campari.
It's the Campari, right? It's like so sophisticated but edgy. It is urbane. It is like
there's no substitute. I mean, there's a lot of other things that are similar, but there's nothing that packs that Campari snap.
Yeah.
Quite like Campari.
Campari is the person that you want to bring with you to a fancy party, and they will say all the interesting things. Let's just stop there.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I mean, I would just drink that forever and always and never veer off. But I have watched you make so many fascinating variations. On Negronis.
So that's
and I want to hear about how you come up with these things, because every time I see one, I'm like, oh, I want that. It's brilliant. That's perfect. Like, I wish I had thought of it. Jealousy, but like awesomeness at the same time. So how do you come up with these?
Well, kind of like we just talked about, I try to make sensible, slight variations on the classics using, oftentimes all of the ingredients, but just tweaking them slightly. For instance, this next one I think that we'll do, if you want to make sure that doesn't,
I'm going to double check.
Doesn't go anywhere. Is we can. I'm
just going to put it back here for fortification. Bravery.
One of the flavors that I think works really well in a Negroni is coffee, and so
that's awesome.
Right
and
here,
I don't think I would have thought of it myself.
Yeah. And right here we've steeped some 250 milliliters of Campari with a tablespoon of coffee beans for about an hour and a half. And there is no, and when you do infusions, there's a lot of variables. What are you infusing? Like, what is the material that you're infusing? What is the proof of the spirit or wine that you're using? Because the higher the proof, the quicker the infusion.
The faster it extracts,
So we're going to right now strain this. And then we'll use that in conjunction with the beautiful cedar gin.
What do you think it is about coffee? I'm always interested in why flavors go together. Why do you think coffee goes well with?
There's a richness, and a kind of a roundness that, and just a completely different flavor profile that coffee lends. That really, it's coffee. When you think about coffee, it's bitter. And it has like floral, bright, acidic notes almost. Exactly.
But and then it's rich at the same time.
And then it plays well with sweetness from the vermouth, the bitter sweetness of the Campari. It just makes a lot of sense.
Once you finally think of it.
Once you finally think about it. Yeah.
I know, it's like what is it? It's like a good mystery where you never see it coming, but then once you know what it is, you're like, I should have seen it all along. Oh, right.
How did I not do that?
Yeah.
And then another, a lot of times I don't use bitters in Negronis because it's bitter enough. But one of our bitters that we that is really successful in, especially with coffee, is cocoa bean.
Ooh, yeah.
So we're gonna fortify this as well with a little cocoa bean bitters.
Yeah, and I often think of vermouth as having a little bit of like a cherry essence to it. Like, it's probably just from the wine base, but it has like a tiny bit of like a cherry cola flavor to it. And so I can see that like with the coffee and with the cocoa bitters, everything just really
everyone gets along.
Exactly.
Everyone swims in the same pool.
Yeah, it's like it's the family that all gets along and takes really cute photos together. Matching outfits. Which is not my family.
So we're gonna go with 2 ounces of the beautiful Vikre cedar.
You have to call it beautiful every single time you mention it. It's a new rule. And drinking games. Drink every time Erik calls cedar beautiful.
And we're gonna go with 1 ounce of coffee Campari.
I'm very excited to try this one. I was very excited to try the other one also, but I have a lot of excitement going on here.
Well, one shows. Otherwise, why are we here?
I know, right? Yeah. Why are we even here if we weren't excited about it? These are my favorite topics in the world.
And just a little bit of richness from these cocoa beans.
So it's like a tincture with cacao nibs.
Yep. A little bit of allspice, gentian root, a little bit of coriander.
Nice.
Okay, now we're gonna stir it up. Oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna garnish this with a lemon because coffee and lemon.
Ah, yes. My mind was blown the first time I had espresso with lemon peel pulled in with espresso. And then I made a lemon espresso tart. That was also extremely amazing. And then I felt very good about myself and I ate a lot of tart. And that is the end of that story. For those of you not in the studio, the suspense here is palpable. The air is vibrating with suspense as the beverage gets stirred. All agitated, emulsified. Not really stirred. There's as much emulsification happening.
It's visually, it looks no different than the one
it
before.
looks like you're going to get a Negroni.
And then there's coffee. It's just like, whoa, there's that, and it works.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Kind of a lot fun. Also, I feel the story of my life these days is titrating caffeine and alcohol and a lot of water to get my job done. So I like the combination here. It's like Four Loko for very, very fancy people.
Like you?
Yeah. The color.
Can I garnish that for you?
Yes, please.
Will you put it back down?
All
You
right.
can just redo that scene again.
I got a little too excited. We all got a little too excited. Also, though, top tip. These beakers can fall over and they don't break. So far.
And then we garnish with this.
Too excited. I want to grab it.
Understandable. Pretty blue tips of this glass look really beautiful with the red.
Like the hue.
There you go.
All right, I'm gonna check it. Let's see if you did good. That's so good. It is.
It's coffee.
It's amazing.
It's coffee.
How much the coffee goes.
Yep. And then
It belongs
plays,
there.
Right. It plays with the cedar. It plays with the Campari and the cocoa bean. It's just. It's a nice.
Yeah.
It's just a nice little family.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the child
It makes
that
sense.
was adopted
Mhm.
into the family, but has like just belonged there always. It just it fits right in. There's no like weird cousin element. It's so good. It's like a dessert. I would drink that for dessert.
Yeah, you're absolutely
It's
right.
a liquid dessert.
Absolutely
It's
right.
so good. Or morning pick me up. Depending on how you take your coffee. They always ask if you need room for cream. I'll be like, I need room for Campari and gin and vermouth.
Oh.
It's so good. That's so good. Everyone, I'm sorry you can't taste it. We need a like full
Just gonna
7D experiential. Let's just squirrel that away. Make sure it doesn't go to waste. So good. So good. It's like a pie or something.
So should we
Awesome.
shake one?
Yes. Okay.
So what we're gonna do here is
And I love this idea of a shaken
Because
Negroni.
I wanted to have a texturally different Negroni. Because after playing with, a lot of different infusions, a lot of different ratios, it's just, I wanted a textural component to it and a visual component to it.
Yeah, when I started learning about cocktails, I hadn't realized before getting into them and starting to geek out that the texture makes such a huge difference in the cocktail and how it tastes and how it feels in your mouth.
Absolutely.
And so the idea of a shaken Negroni is like jarring and wonderful at the same time.
And to do that, to make it interesting, we made a vanilla orange sour. And so what this is a weak 2-to-1 water to sugar simple syrup that I fortified with a pile of orange zest, a couple of vanilla beans, steeped that for about an hour or two, then strained it and added a little bit of powdered egg white and citric acid. Okay. Powdered egg white for a little texture, citric acid to kind of brighten.
Yeah, to give it a little bit of tart, like sourness.
Exactly.
Fun fact that we learned yesterday, the word for citric acid in German is Jungbunzlauer.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know. You probably already knew that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. In French, it's like l'acide citrique. And then German is like Jungbunzlauer.
And then to further complicate matters,
this is like the crazy Negroni.
The crazy Negroni. We've steeped some of your cedar gin with rooibos tea. And that's why it looks like tea.
Yeah. It is a tea color.
Right. It's a tea color, and so this was steeped. I steeped this last night for about an hour and a half. A tablespoon of really fragrant rooibos tea in 250 milliliters of your gin. Steeped it for about an hour and a half, and then ran it through. It's like
cup of tea.
Exactly.
And then you get all those other aromatics into your cocktail.
Exactly.
I love the idea of tea.
And so we're going to pour this right out of the mason jar in here. 2 ounces of that. And that'll add, because it's a strong batch of tea, it is going to add a little bit of extra bitterness. And that's what I feel like makes this added. So we have sweetness in the sweet vermouth. We have a little bit of sweetness from the bittersweet Campari, but then a little bit more sweetness. But this is a gentle sweetness from a 2-to-1 water to sugar, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a little more water than sugar.
Exactly.
Could you do this with uninfused gin?
With oh gosh, just with the cedar?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it'd be amazing. I just thought
why not use a tea gin when you're going crazy?
Because we're doing variations and why not? And it's gonna make.
And I think that is the thing with cocktails. Like you can start from something simple, but then you can vary all the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
All the time.
But you always have to think about it.
And the other reason I wanted to do that infusion too, it's gonna make it a really pretty cool.
Yeah.
So an ounce of sour.
Right now this looks like an Arnold.
It does, doesn't it? And then until I put the Campari in there.
Woo-hoo.
And then we'll go.
That is a sunset. The best sunset that's ever happened. Then
1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth. So we've got
the color of leather gloves I want.
When we talk about variations, kind of like we were mentioning, we've got all the ingredients in here.
Yeah. All the basic. Yeah, you have the core.
The
core Negroni in there.
So we're still.
You're making a
correct,
Negroni.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's still what I really like about variations is when you can vary something and still have it be identifiable to what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about.
People make Negroni Biancos that are clear.
It has a spine that remains the same. Or I don't know. I'm thinking of like DNA. It shares 99% of its DNA, like we do with mice.
Right. Speaking of mice.
But yeah, that's actually something I was thinking about with our gin too, since we're making 3 different varieties of gin. I wanted them to have that distinct, like, okay, yep, this is gin. It's not like a completely different botanical spirit. There is a backbone of gin, but from there you can grow all these amazing appendages. I don't know why I'm going anatomical in my analogies, but I am, because anatomy is life. double straining.
Double strain.
You're a double strainer. Ooh, look at that. You know what? New proposal. Cocktail making should be an Olympic sport. And you get points based on different like things like color and technique. And, you know, it's more interesting than curling. And people could wear interesting pants. That's my proposal. That's so awesome. Your pants are interesting. Black is always interesting. All right.
So look at that. So we're not, and then no garnish. The little froth, the little froth from the egg white and the sour is your garnish. And there's like, you know, less is more. Fewer, nicer things. There's no reason to put anything on that. I mean, it's just
don't gild the lily.
Correct. The glass is pretty. It's an interesting color.
Yeah.
And then as it settles, you know, the froth kind of just really makes this nice little layer there. And so,
right. I have never been more excited probably to try anything.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. There are so many things going on there.
Tea.
There's so much tea. And I think between the tea and the hibiscus, it is like floral and it feels like a summer porch swing.
Oh, right. And another.
But it's got the like Campari anchor.
Yep. That's got to have that.
Yeah.
It's got to have that.
Yeah.
Or it's not a Negroni.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's got to have that Campari anchor. That's a good way to describe it.
It's like it's moored. It's tethered to the Negroni identity.
You know
but
what? Another really good.
Also, so like, I want to just like start saying y'all when I drink this. There's something about the tea and the hibiscus, and yeah.
Another really good variation there is to use that tea, the Campari, and then sparkling wine.
Oh, now you're speaking my language. I like anything with sparkling wine in it.
On the rocks with a straw. Yeah. That's your porcelain right there.
Damn. Yes. Pardon my language. Darn.
I know. We should
watch yourself. Me. That was sparkling wine would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah. My other like soul cocktail is the French 75. Could be like gin and sparkling wine.
So there you go. We have a few Negroni variations. But they're all still siblings.
Negronis.
Double fisting.
Family.
Bing.
Awkward family photos.
Perfect.